and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we bring to you the greatest podcast to ever exist, DIFF podcast. We have here the Chief, which is me, and the Uncle.
That'd be me. How you going?
Good.
What are we doing on today's podcast?
Well, we are making some drinks.
Yes, we are. Finally, some yummy, yummy nectar of the gods. Same Diff is doing beverages. So stay with us, guys. We'll do our best to explain what we're going to do.
Yep.
Cool. See you soon. Thanks for sticking with us, guys. We are back, and like we said, beverage time. So very excited. How you been, buddy?
Good.
Good. That's good. Back at school. Yeah, working. The usual. So we finally got around to investigating into our home brews. So we're going to make our very own ginger beer to start with.
Non-alcoholic too.
Non-alcoholic, absolutely. And then we're going to do a bit of lemonade as well. So we're going to do Uncle Ginger and Chief Aid. There we go. So that was going to be our flavours. And we're just going to basically stick to the concentrate. Obviously you can use fresh ingredients and that'll be a different sort of flavour and that sort of thing. But we wanted to stick to a bit of a recipe so we don't make mistakes because we're completely new to this. I've never brewed. You've never done it before, so we're going to see how we go. We're going to try to follow the instructions, which could be fun. So yeah, you can do the ingredients. You know, you can chop up the ginger, do it fresh. But yeah, we want this one because we've got the instructions on there for the non-alcoholic and the alcoholic. But we're going to do the non-alcoholic because we want to do that.
At age.
Yeah, and that stuff's silly anyway. So I want something I can drink all day long. And the cool thing is, so I did the math on it. So, you know, you go to the shops and you buy like the branded ginger beers. So roughly for the price of a litre, like a 125 worth of that price is the same as making 30 litres at home by yourself. The difference is you've got to wait 4 weeks, but I like the idea of getting 30 litres for the price of 1 litre, basically, roughly. So yeah, which works out pretty good. So we're going to give it a crack. Yep. All right, so first is first. You can't just jump straight in, can you, to this?
You need to sanitize it and wash it.
Yeah, because it's all bacteria kind of thing. And, you know, you don't want something that's going to disturb the yeast and the fermentation process. Obviously, you can Google all these words we're using, but it's pretty straightforward. Basically, yeast reacts with the sugar. It basically ferments. Sciencey stuff. Add all the sciencey stuff in there. But basically, it rots, causes a yeast, the yeast ferments, causes bubbles, then you get a bubbly drink that's a little healthier than soft drink. So, because it's doing its own carbonation rather than adding in carbonation like in colas. Okay, that's enough sciencey stuff, let's get down to it. So, first of all, we have to sterilise, so we'll show you that. And sterilise basically two-step process, which is wash your stuff with soap, then sterilise it, getting all the yuck out of it.
Dusty stuff.
Crusty, dusty, impediments, things that shouldn't be there, like excess soap, bacteria, that sort of thing. So that'll be a part where we put on some gloves. We're going to take it a little bit serious, try to keep as much impediments and stuff out of it as we can. Give it as best a chance to give us a nice flavour. Yep. Cool. All right, so we'll set that up and we'll show you a little bit of us cleaning it down, and then we'll get to the makey part. Yep. Sounds good? Cool. Stay with us. Back soon.
Welcome back, guys.
Hey, guys. Cool. What's the next step here, buddy? So we've got a lot of things on the table.
So we need to put this low stud thing.
Yeah, low suds. Yeah. So what is low suds?
That is when you pour it in the water. It's non-bubbly.
Okay. Cool.
And you know the foam of the bubbles.
So like when you wash a bottle out at home for mum, you put a bit of like detergent in there under the tap, and it, like you get all the bubbles throughout it, and you're forever trying to like get it out, and you got to keep filling it up, washing it out, washing it out. This basically makes it quicker, so that when you're drying it, it's a quicker process. Yes. Yeah. So basically, that's a soap, like a dishwashing soap, especially made for the brewing. And then once you've done that, you move over to
the sterilizer.
Yeah, sterilizer. So or sanitizer.
Nasty stuff.
Yep, which kills all the nasty stuff. So what we'll do with that then? So this is just washing liquid, basically, with low suds, and then we go to the sanitizer, and there's like a formula on the back, 30 mils to however many. That's where we'll use a spray bottle too, because some things, this one you can obviously put the liquid in, give it a shake, boom. Other things, you can maybe give a wipe down, but you could actually use the spray all over, sanitize that. So
stuff too.
yeah. So let's explain a bit of what we've got here. So we've got some cups just for general, when we make a mix, we need somewhere to store it. We've got measuring jugs and so forth, measuring cups. So this will measure, ingredients. This is more a storage and big measurements, because at one stage there, obviously we're making 30 litres at a time. We need something that can tip a fair bit. Obviously our bottles to store it in, plastic so they can expand. So when the fermentation process and the bubbling happens, they don't just smash and blow up. We've got gloves, again for sanitizing, and spoons, etc. for stirring, thermometer to measure temperatures if we need. Can you bring that into camera? It's a big fella. So that's our distiller. I'm not sure if that's going to get on camera. You'll have to cover yourself. That's our brewer. So that's our 30 litres. We fill that up and away we go. That's all right. We'll do some pictures, still shots and so forth. So we've basically got to wash and sterilise all that. So we won't sit here and wash every bottle and talk to you while we're doing it. We'll do a bit of a cut together, a few pictures and things, and then we'll come back and we'll get to the actual fun bit. Oh, and how cool is this? The big spoon. Isn't that cool? I'm going to eat my porridge with it. Wheat Bix, ice cream, No, so that's obviously the stir down in the big fella. Cool. All right. So we've got water here, drying rack. We're just going to start doing the clean down process, measuring spoons as well as regular spoons. I think we're ready to rock and or roll. Cool. All right, guys. We're going to do a bit of cleaning and sterilising, and we'll be back with the making.
Yep.
Cool. Thanks, guys. Ta. Glove up. Cool. Couple for me, because we're probably the dirtiest things in the room. Sad to say. All right. So we'll keep the camera running, but we'll edit it up for you guys. I've got another couple of cameras here. We'll edit in some footage. Oh, how do you get gloves on? Easy. I wonder if blowing in them works. Have you ever tried that? It's probably not sterile, is it? Either way, we're just trying to keep it as clean as we can. Try to keep my sweat out of it. It's hot down here, which will be good for the fermentation process, because you've got to keep it between 22 to 28 degrees. I reckon we're smashing that today, even though it's a rainy day. What temperature is it?
Around 28, 27 degrees.
Oh, there you go. Perfect. We might have to put a fan on though. All right, let's get to cleaning, champ. Ready to run?
Yep.
So let's look at the ingredients, our low suds, or our mixture, I should say, directions. Okay, so it's easy to use low suds. Basically, exactly what we said, quick and easy. Wash all equipment and or bottles thoroughly.
Yep.
Go with a bit of a 30 ml or 3 cups to a litre of water.
Yep, and I'm taking off my watch because I don't want that to
Good plan.
affect anything.
It is recommended now that you sanitise your equipment after you've washed it with the suds. Cool. All right, we'll get started.
Yep.
Thanks, guys. Shh. Thumbs up. Glove high five, see if it makes a noise. Can we make it squeak? Nah. All right, let's get to it. Okay guys, we're over to the big container now to sterilise. We obviously have to put a little tap in it, so off, twist it, turns on, it bungs in there, so we'll do that off camera. We've got to sterilise all of this. So we have our solution, the remainder of what was left after cleaning all the bottles and things. So basically, not so much sterilise yet, sorry, we're just doing the cleaning process, so we're just adding the soap, the sud stuff, Obviously, this is brand new, but we want to give it a clean. So we bang it in there, and then obviously got to give this lid a rinse too on the inside. I like to do the outside as well, just to sterilise. So we'll do that off camera, otherwise you're just going to see our backs. Basically, basically just give that a good clean, soap it out, rinse it out, and then we'll start the sterilising process. Cool. Knuckles, stay with us, guys. Alright guys, welcome back. So we've done the first stage, which is basically just a good old soapy clean down of every utensil, everything we're going to use, because we want to keep it as sterile, as clean as possible. So the next step is to sanitise. So it's basically re-washing everything, spraying it down. It's like if you're in a doctor's surgery, you know, you want to spray all your utensils. So we'll just quickly go through what we've got to do. Sanitise, rinse off. It helps really degrade any powdery substances. So I think this is super handy when we do like our second batch. Like once we do, because ginger beer is a bit grainy, it'll help get all the grains and powders out of the tub so that it doesn't infect the lemonade that we do. So all brewing equipment should be thoroughly cleaned prior to sanitising, which we did. Dilute sanitizer in a rate of 30 mils to a litre, so same as the last one. This basically is like a hydrogen peroxide, which is like a bleach. You use it in your hair, and tons of other things too. And there's a bit of a mixture of different things like a stabiliser, distilled water, that sort of stuff. So basically what I'm thinking we'll do, same sort of thing. So we'll do a rinse, we'll do, like we do with the bottles, we'll put a little bit in each bottle, give it a shake, rinse it out. We can reuse the sanitizer on each bottle, so you can tip from one bottle to the next, and then we'll have a diluted some in the spray as well, so we can hit the spoons, our hands, whatever equipment we want. So again, we'll cut that quickly. We'll do that. We won't bore you showing you that whole thing, but the sanitizing process is as important as the ingredient process. So you've got to get this right. This is as important as the cooking part, hey? Cool. So we'll change out of gloves, get fresh gloves on, do all that thing, because we've been touching our face and stuff and table. So obviously after the soap, we'll replace the gloves and do the sanitizing. That way we're keeping as much crap out as we can. Cool?
Yeah.
All right. I am sweating, so I will dry myself and then change gloves, I reckon, so I don't contaminate anything. Cool. Stay with us, guys. We'll get the sanitizing done. We'll cut in a few clips of that. Thanks for staying with us. Thanks, guys. I hope this is going to be yummy. Always better be worth it. Thanks, guys.
Welcome back, everyone.
Hey guys. All right, so we're at the more important stage, aren't we? We got the cleaning done, we got the sanitizing done, everything's sweet to go. So now we're at the read the ingredients, follow the steps stage. So what we will need for this, obviously we want to keep our gloves on because we still sterilise. So we've got, what have we got here?
Hot, warm water.
Yep, warm water in our sterilised container. From this we got Yeah, what was that again? That was yeast. And then you've got your powdered yeast with your bug in it. You've got your concentrated ginger, sugar, and then we've got tablespoon to measure, because you've got to put a couple of tablespoons of stuff in, something to stir with, thermometer to check our temperatures, jugs. I think we're pretty much ready to rock and roll. We've got some Glad wrap over there for later.
Yeah, it's almost 40 degrees.
Yeah, it's actually pretty warm, but we want to check that our temperature's pretty good. It is up there in the 30s. We want it sort of 22, 28. It's in the 30s at the moment, but by the time I think we have done our thing, we'll double check it in there and see what our temp is. So we're a little warm at the minute. So first step is, I've cheated a little bit because I've pre-read it, but basically we want to do a cup of water, so a cup of warm in there. So I'll tip if you make sure, sorry guys, I'll tip if you keep an eye on the height. How we going? We're getting close.
Yeah.
Slowing it up. Boom. Love it. All right, that's done. Put him back over there. Does he feel warm to the touch?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Move that out. Oh no, I need the instructions, don't I? Better read the non-alcoholic ones.
Yeah.
All right, so then we've basically got to put the satchel, so this guy, into there. But first of all, we need a couple of teaspoons of the old sugary roux, because the sugar needs, you're basically feeding the bug. Yeah. So if you want to tip the delicious sugar onto there for me. Yeah. So fill it up. It's only sugar, so it doesn't matter if you spill a little bit. So we'll call that, yep, thank you. So one into there. Do one more. Oh, a bit more. Get to the top. Get to the top. Always better to put a bit more than a bit less. Beautiful. There you go. Into there. Don't eat it because you're sterilised. Just flip it off on the ground. So that's 2 sugars. And then your satchel of goodies. I'll give you that one. So that's basically us creating the bug for the first portion. Yeah, just rip them open. Yep. Try to get most of it in there. Yep. Good job. Get as much in there as you can. Oh, sounds like gravel. Got a real smell to it, doesn't it? There you go. Maybe next time we get some scissors, just cut the top off.
Yeah.
Then it's tippable.
Yep.
I'll yeah, it doesn't look like there's anything left in there. Oh, it's got a smell. Ooh. Alright, give that a bit of a stir, hey?
Yep.
So we might just get someone in for a quick close-up, if we can. In for a close-up. And see how it just needs a good stir, because there's basically all that powder residue at the top. So mix that through. You want that sugar and the bug to do its thing.
Right.
Cool, thank you for that, close-up person. I'll bring it back so we can actually do it properly.
Yep.
Yeah.
And do we have to stir this for minutes?
I think that's the next stage, more so than a minute. It's more get the chunks out of it. So there's a couple of little floaties. So you just want to destroy them, like you're just sort of rubbing them on the side of the cup, just breaking them up. See how there's sort of, I don't know if that's splashed on the side and people can see, but you're basically getting rid of the chunky stuff, mushing it around, turning it from wheat bix to a liquid. Yeah. Quite a good smell. Doesn't feel like there's any sugar on the bottom. We'll just check the temp. So basically it just says to do that and then set aside until the yeast begins to activate. Now I think what they mean by yeast activating is it'll kind of bubble at the top. It'll kind of brew up.
Can I have the...
Yeah, mate, yeah. There you go, pull him out that way. Nip him in. So just hold him on the top so it doesn't actually read your finger. Let me have a look. How are we looking? Oh yeah, that's pretty good. It's about right. Yep, it's probably just a touch warm, but we'll keep it there. Obviously it's got to cool down a bit to do its thing. I think it's 1 degree too high, but we'll get there. I'll get you to pop that back in there. We'll have to wash all that. Cool. Pretty happy with that. I don't feel any sugar at the bottom. So we'll stop there. Bit of glad wrap just over the top. Just stops things going in it, and I think it just seals it off just a touch too.
And here it's 29 to 28 degrees.
Yeah, so it's pretty close to start with. So lucky I didn't need a big piece. There we go. You could probably rub a band around it too if you wanted to do that.
Yep.
Cool, and we'll set that off to the side, and then we'll move on to the next part. So we'll cut there, and then we'll move on to the next part, which has a lot more to do with this over here and bigger containers. So we'll move on to that. See you soon, guys. All right, guys, back. We've got the big jugs, we've got all the bits and pieces, we've got our sugars. So basically the next steps are to empty the contents of both the ginger and the kind of, I suppose, yeast powder, because we've got the activate that we did earlier. So we've got to get these into this sucker, plus 300 odd grams of that, and then we've got to give it a stir. So that's warm. Yep, so warm to touch. So let's get going. So we've got to empty nutrients packet. So if you empty that, try to keep the packet out of the water. That one into there, and then I'll get you to tip this in as well. And I will organise the sugar over here.
All of it?
Yeah, mate. So spread it around a little bit. That's the way. So obviously, scale to measure the weight of it. Yeah, you can start stirring, buddy. Also got to put this in, which is your ginger. So if you want to do that as well. Ginger. Okay. Cool. 300 odd grams of, what are we calling this? Caster sugar. So you can use regular sugar, but I think the caster sugar, oh, better turn this sucker on.
How many?
All of it. Second. So I just want to tear off, so not include the weight of the actual fella in there. So I'm at 109. So my math tells me if this is a kilo's worth of sugar, that I probably need about a third of the bag. Oh, we're at 225. We're at the 250. We're rounding the corner. A little more, a little more. God, you're making some noise. You're a helicopter.
I'll show you a helicopter.
You don't have to go crazy. Just slowly stir it, champ. Slowly stir it. I need 5 more grams.
Wow.
4 more grams. 3 more grams.
The bump.
1 more grams.
The bump.
No more grams.
Some bumps are launching some.
Cool, I'll just double check that we're doing this right. It says here, don't let Chief anywhere near it. Oh, we ruined it. 300 grams of sugar. 300 grams of sugar. All the stuff you had into 5 litres. So coming in. So stir that sucker up. And then this is our warm water. I left a little bit out just so we can look like we're doing it on camera. There we go. Bada bing, bada boom. So let's double check we did everything. Emptied those nutrients packet. So you put your yeast in. We put our ginger in. Every little drop of flavour. There we go. Ginger's in there. Into 5 litres. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There's a little measuring. Oh, so good. Yep. Oh, dripped on me. I wonder if I can taste that yet. 5 litres of warm water in our 30 litre fermentator. Then we're going to stir to dissolve it, all the contents. So you've got to stir until the water disappears. No, I'm joking.
I'll stir you.
So the contents. So we want no powder, no grains, no powders, no sugar in there. And then we top it up with 18 litres of cold water. So 18 more litres. And then we just make sure the temperature's about 22 to 28, which room temperature. And then we're pretty much ready to then do the last step, which is to add that first part that we made into that to seal it up, and we're ready to rock and roll. Cool. So rather than bore everybody and keep stirring and stirring and stirring and making that clang clang noise, we'll keep going on camera.
Yep.
Cool. Thanks, guys. Right, guys. So we're just adding the last last part of it, of the water content, which was the 18 litres of the cold water. I've added 8, got the last 10 to go, so that'll go in there. And then we add part A that we did into part B. So we'll tip this in. Oh, we've lost half a litre. There we go. Just stop stirring for a second, just so I don't splash it. There we go. So making a lot. One thing I did notice, I used to work in a place that pureed this sort of stuff for one of the big companies that make ginger beer here in Australia. And so I'm pretty much used to the pureeing and the smells and the burning of this stuff. But what I have noticed is the other members that are helping us film today aren't used to the potency of ginger. So it's a bit of a nose clearer. So maybe when you do this, do it in an open environment so you can breathe, because everyone complains that it really gets to the back of the throat, the old ginger smell. So that's done. Done. Keep stirring. We'll stir that a little longer. We'll give it another minute or two, and then we'll add the final part. Thanks, guys. Okay, guys, we're at the final stage now of our mix. Basically, it's pretty straightforward from here. So we've got to put the extract, I think it was called, or the part from the yeast satchel, the part 1 into part 2, mix it for a minute, and then basically we're at the bottling stage. So heads up, buddy. This is coming in. Keep your spoon in. Tip that in. It's been sitting for a few hours. I'll just get a little bit to wash it out with. Boom. Again, all nice and sterile. Cool. And that's yours. Mix it for roughly a minute. And then we are pretty well ready to bottle, because obviously we're doing non-alcoholic. So that's cool. And let me see. Gently mix for a minute. Fill bottles, so we want to make sure we fill the bottles. Grab some bottle, champ. Just step off the can. Yeah, just any bottle. Oh, that's a big spoon, it won't die. Grab a bottle. Cool. Thank you. So we want to fill the bottle roughly here-ish.
It's mixing itself.
It's mixing itself. It's a whirlpool. We want to fill the bottle roughly to here. That way it's got room to expand and do its thing. So cool. So we'll fill them. We'll do a bit of a time-lapsey deal, and we'll get that done. Thanks, guys. Cool. Now we're going to start the bottling process, guys, hey?
Yep.
Whole bottle, heel cap. Cool. It's one, stop and short. Put them on there nice and tight. Oh, a little bit much.
Right.
Well, there we go. All done and dusted. So I think we've got a fair few bottles out of it. 2, 4, 5, looks like 5, 10, 15, 20, 22 bottles. 22, 1.25. I mean, obviously we've had to lower it down, which I think I explained earlier. The reason we do it here is because you want it to ferment a little bit, which will expand the bottle. If you fill it to the top, you'll blow the tops off. So just gives it room to germinate and do its thing and whatever else. So basically got to wait now 4 weeks or thereabouts. So we'll test it sort of in 3 weeks. We'll test it in 4 weeks. And then if it's all good, we're good to go from there. So, and then we'll put it into nicer bottles. I think going forward, what I might do is date each one. So obviously this is batch 1. So I would put maybe 1s on the lids so that I knew the date and the time. So that if I was doing batch after batch after batch, I knew when it would be ready. As in, maybe I'd put the date that this should be ready. So I'd put in 4 weeks time, or maybe the date that I did it. So that when I've got all these batches, I know what it's from. So I know which ones to be drinking when. Because obviously you don't want to wait until you run out to make another batch, because you have to wait 4 weeks. So you want to kind of always be doing a batch every 2 weeks or so. Because I think a bottle a day is about right. So you've got almost a month there.
Yeah.
So every month, be on top of it. Every couple of weeks. Yeah, cool. Well, that was pretty good fun.
Yeah.
Hopefully it tastes good. That was a lot of work. So probably a couple of hours of prep in the cleaning, and then another hour in the tipping and the pouring and that sort of thing. And then waiting for that bug to get ready to put in. So very cool. Awesome. You happy with that?
Yep.
Can't wait. So we'll come back in 4 weeks and do a follow-up. See how we go. So,
yep.
And then we've got obviously to make some lemonade next. So we'll do that at a later stage. Cool. You happy with that?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm pretty chuffed with that. So very cool. You may hear a bit of a fan in the background. That's because it got crazy hot down here today. That's living in Queensland. Just coming out of summer.
30 degrees, I think.
Yeah, it was 30 something, and then a little bit hotter under here. So that's what we're looking at. If you like what we're doing, like and subscribe. This wasn't really a how-to video as much as it was a we-to video, as in we are doing it to ourselves. If you have questions, we'll try to help you out, but we're no experts. We're just bumbling along. So like and subscribe and all that kind of fun stuff.
Yep.
So yeah, follow us, have a look at the lemonade. We're going to sell this stuff?
No.
Give it away. So what are we calling this? Ginger Uncle.
Ginger Uncle?
Uncle Ginger? Uncle Ginger. I think there's a name on the front. What did we call it?
Uncle Ginger.
Uncle Ginger. We'll go with Uncle Ginger. There we go. That was the consensus. So we should do up some shirts and some other merch for it. So we had fun. I had fun. This was good. Took a little longer than we thought, but thank you very much. All right, like and subscribe. Make some comments down below. Let us know other ideas. We'll have to film an ad for our drink.
Yep.
Yeah, in the coming days, so that'd be cool.
And get us to 60 subscribers.
Yeah. Tell some mates to subscribe and do that stuff. It just helps us out.
Well, it would like us. We would really appreciate if you get us to
A million.
or
A billion.
1,000
Yeah.
subscribers to get our silver.
If you have a brother or a sister, get them to get a tattoo of our logo, because that'll help push our brand. So yeah, do that. What do you reckon?
Yep.
Yeah, people should get tattoos?
Yep.
Yeah,
Or
just right here.
100,000 subscribers.
Like a Mike Tyson face tattoo, just same diff. That'll help us get more subscribers.
Yeah.
That, or if you're having a kid, maybe name them Same Diff Podcast. Or name them after me, Uncle. Name your newborn kid Uncle. That'll be real confusing. Alright, thanks guys. Catch you next time. We had fun. Have a good week. Bye.
Bye.